This episode of This Week in Geek is brought to you by Collectibles Galore. Good morning. It is Wednesday, and that means it's time for This Week in Geek. I'm your host, Paul.
This is Aaron.
And you're not getting anything in those headphones, are you?
Nothing at all.
All right, okay. I can just tell you that you sound fine.
Okay.
So don't worry about it.
Okay.
I can tell by the way the hands are flailing. I'm like, yeah, I know that
was like, signals, yay! Hey, everybody. A little technical difficulties here, but hey, let's keep the ball rolling.
All right, so let's jump right into it. New releases for today, Wednesday the 7th?
Yes. Oh my gosh, December 7th.
No, that's
December.
Saturday. Wow.
What?
The 4th.
We are very fast forwarded. It's the
Wow.
whole 3rd of December. You really want the weekend to be here, don't you?
I guess.
Big
I
plans,
don't know why.
maybe?
No.
Plans. Come on. What is that?
Right. So, yeah, let's get into the comics. According to Previews World, it looks like there's going to be some cool stuff coming out again. First one is one that I'm really excited about, Conan Serpent War #1.
That looked really, really cool.
That does look really, really cool, and I actually have my phone smashing onto the table. I have the
blurbage, eh?
Previews blurbs, yes.
Okay.
Conan Serpent War. Witness the wrath of the Serpent God as warriors across time defy the Elder Gods. James Allison will soon die, but it's not his first death. He's lived many lives, in many places, lives he can recall in vivid detail. But when an elder god called the Worm reaches across time to James, an ages-spanning quest begins. The serpent god Set plans to usher in an eternity of darkness, and only the chosen warriors across time and space have a hope of stopping him. Conan the Barbarian, Solomon Kane, Dark Agnes, and the man known as Moon Knight. In an unprecedented comic event, Robert E. Howard's characters join forces along with Marvel's Moon Knight in an all-new saga built on REH and Marvel lore from across the ages.
Your guy. It's got your man in it, Moon Knight.
I said, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that looks really, really cool. And the idea that they're not going to be rehashing another story.
Right.
This is something different. This is something that they have not done before. These characters really have not had much interaction. Solomon Kane, Conan, Moon Knight. There's a lot of differences, and it's cool. And from what I've read and seen, is that the whole idea, the premise, is that each one is going to bring something to the search. So right. the quest, if you will. So. Mm-hmm. Definitely cool. I knew you were going to be excited about that one.
Oh, yeah.
That's on my list, too. So, definitely check that out, guys. Conan Serpent War #1.
All right, next one on my list from Image Comics is 20XX #1, I guess we're going to call it?
Yeah, that's the best way to call it, yeah.
All right, and again...
Another blurbage. Look at you, prepared today.
20XX marks a new series premiere from Jonathan Luna of Alex plus Ada, Girls, and The Sword, and Lauren Keeley in her writing debut with this all-new ongoing series. This sci-fi thriller for mature readers imagines a not-so-distant future, a world of norms and Sims, S-Y-M-S, divided by fear. Sims, a small percentage of the population with telekinetic abilities, form gangs to survive. But division only breeds more division, and Myrrh and Nuon experience this firsthand as they become entangled in the often dramatic, sometimes violent, but always complex social landscape of sim gang rivalries in Anchorage, Alaska.
Definitely it's interesting that Image is going this way because it has a lot of, I'd say, roots to X-Men, and the mutant aspect of it. So when reading through it, it does look cool. I'm interested to see how they go about the mature reader, which I'm going to assuming is probably going to be sex, violence, all
profanity.
That profanity. Yeah. So we can assume that's going to be in there. With the idea of the factions aspect of what they're the Sims and all that, that made me think about the movie that came out where it had, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the movie. There was three movies. It was Allegiant, Defiant.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But it was based in Chicago, and there were different factions. There was like a military faction, there was a smart faction, there was a worker faction, and so yes, the factions, you could see how they different strengths, weaknesses go against each other. So it'll be cool to see what telekinetic powers, the specialty powers, how people interact with that, and then of course having the overseeing body, they didn't say the government, but we know that there's going to be a force that is going to be, controlling them, how Image is going to, show that and showcase their side of the, specialty, mutants, if you will. So definitely cool. Title definitely harkens back to Marvel, but again, there's it's something different that Image hasn't done, so definitely I'm excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah, me too. All right, my final one out of the three from Dark Horse Comics is The Butcher of Paris #1. 1944, as swastikas flew over Paris, one of the most notorious and prolific serial killers in history turned the occupied city into his personal hunting ground. Under the guise of opportunity and freedom, a killer preys on those desperate to flee, until a gruesome discovery alerts the police. In a city on the brink of war, the hunt for a serial killer begins as a French detective races to catch the villain before the Nazis beat him to it. Written by Stephanie Phillips, who's done Descendant and Devil Within, with art by Dean Kotz, who's done Mars Attacks. The Butcher of Paris is a historical true crime thriller about a killer wanted by both the Nazis and Allied forces for the death of nearly 200 victims.
Wow. Definitely, I just watched the movie Overlord. It just came out on DVD, and it was, the Nazis and their prolific, use of technology to further the super soldier and all that stuff and whatnot. So we know how the Nazis use stuff to go after people. We know from Captain America. So it's very cool to see that Dark Horse is taking a crime kind of story, like a detective, if you will, throwing it in there and seeing how the Nazis are going to deal with this, how the Allies are going to deal with this, and we know that the Allies are probably going to go out there and do the the good guy thing, searching, and the Nazis are probably going to do the crazy, just go out there, blitzkrieg, go crazy kind of thing. So it's it definitely looks interesting. The art, from what I looked up, also looks pretty cool. Very artistic use of very darker saturated colors on the pages. So it's not something where you're going to have the full pages where they're split up and there's going to be like wham bam, kind of comments. There's going to be the boxes with the darker shadowy characters, interactions. So it definitely looked really cool from the previews that I saw. So three for three, very cool, very cool. I tell you, mine, the Marvel and the 2099s, those are some really exciting for me growing up, having those books, and then seeing what they're doing now. Amazing Spider-Man number 35, 2099. But more importantly, the actual titles, Ghost Rider 2099 #1, Venom 2099 #1. Those are going to be hot books. Multiple covers for them.
Naturally.
Of course. Marvel always does that. But more importantly, they are drawing on the history of what we know 2099 is based upon. So it's not like they're reinventing the wheel. They're going to be using the history of what had happened and then throwing them into current, I guess current age, if you the storylines.
Right, and this is said to put the exclamation point on the fact that this is really the future of the Marvel Universe.
Yes.
Like, that is the official future of Marvel now.
Yes.
Which I think is really cool.
It's cool that they have a path, a trajectory. They're on that, and they're following through with that. So, definitely the 2099 storylines are great, and I'm really excited for the covers. They really have some awesome covers coming out.
Yes, they do.
Last week I picked up the Venom number 20, the 2099 variant, and I saw that, and it was funny. I go to pick my books up, and I of course was picking them up on Thursday because I wasn't able to get there on Wednesday because I was working so much. And I saw it on the shelf, and I was like, ooh, I gotta get that. So I scooped that up, and I was surprised that wasn't an extra charge, because it was a really beautiful cover.
Yeah, I heard the Spider-Gwen 2099 variant was really nice, too.
Yeah, that flew off the shelves from what I understand. I didn't even get to see that except for online.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely 2099, guys. Check some of those books out, and let us know what you think. It brings back lots of nostalgia for Paul and I. So.
Oh, without a doubt. Spider-Man 2099 was one of my favorite books back in the day.
Oh, yeah. He's just a cool character.
Yes.
And the Marvel Legends, I have both of those, and it's just so neat to see them bringing the stuff that you and I... It's so crazy saying grew up with, right? I mean, we're not that old, so... Well, I'm not, anyway.
And I am really glad to see that they put Miggy back in his original costume.
Yes.
Instead of the white, yeah. Nothing wrong with that costume. That just wasn't Spider-Man 2099.
No, so. It was way too bright.
Mm-hmm. And kind of busy. I didn't like it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But moving on, what else is on your list there? Or does that cover all of it because it was mostly 2099?
Mostly 2099. And the other one that I'm going to say probably is going to be a good one that I'm just going to pick up because I'm curious to see where they go with it, is Thor Worthy. Beta Ray Bill being in there.
Nice.
That it's always cool to see him. He's just such a different character, and it's interesting to see how they're gonna play that out. So I'm gonna pick that up. It looks cool, multiple covers again. And then the only other one that I'm going to look at, may not pick up, is the Star Wars Saga #1.
Now, what's the story with that? Because I remember some of the other titles that have been sagas. It's basically just a recap book.
That's what it looks like, but the way, again, the previews prefaced it was that there's going to be new stuff in it, so whether it's expansions on the existing stories or maybe more blurbs in it, I don't know. I'm gonna pick it up, take a gander at it, and see what it's all about.
Nice.
So, but yeah, that's those are the main stuff that I have for Marvel anyway. Anything on your end for? Well, I know DC is
nah.
For me, again, Batman has been pretty consistent. Number 84, going to be picking that up. And Deathstroke number 50.
50, really?
Yeah. It's and I will tell you, the cover art that they have been doing for the Deathstroke books have been so good.
Really?
The B covers, literally works of art. I mean, and the story has been kind of wonky. It's been, did he die? Did he not die? Is he back? Who's replacing him? Deathstroke has been all over the board over the years. That this storyline is a good storyline. It's just the art on that they're getting people for the covers. I just love them. So that's primarily the reason I'm picking the Deathstroke books up.
Outstanding.
So, But yeah, that's pretty much for Marvel, DC, what I have for my picks.
That's all I had, other than all of the, and I mean, we're squashing what we do later anyway with what we're reading now.
Yeah.
I'll save it for that, actually. Let's move on to the toy box. Marvel Legends.
Been slow news lately.
Yeah, this is the second week in a row that I've said it's been slow going with this stuff.
They did all the releases where the Fantastic Four wave, is able to be ordered. They haven't started shipping it yet.
No, I think we'll see those after the holidays. That's not going to come anywhere before that. Maybe even into the new year.
I think actually it's slated for. I believe some of the figures were slated for January and some were slated for April.
Okay.
So definitely going to be after the new year. The only other one that I'm excited for is, again, the Stan Lee one.
Yes, and that's June,
That's
right?
June.
Yeah,
so. We don't have a whole lot coming out for Marvel Legends.
It's been a robust year for them.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I mean, we can have a downturn at the end of the year.
Let the money recoup in the checking account. Yes,
right.
I totally agree on that.
But as for the local front, the only things I've seen is GameStop had one lone X-Men 3-pack. Because I know that's been purchased.
Wink, wink.
I saw that. That was the one in clay, and it sat for as long as it did because nobody knew it was there. It was behind the
It's so crazy.
The X Factor 2-packs. Other than that, what did I see? At one of the local comic shops today, I saw the remnants of the Fat Thor wave.
Okay.
First time I've seen a bunch of them other than Heimdall. Heimdall's been at Comic Zone for a while. I've seen him. I'm actually surprised that's sitting because I'm pretty sure that's the first ever Heimdall figure.
I want to say I think it is. I think you're right on that. I believe that is. That wave, though, I did not purchase any. I don't have anything from that wave.
I think it was a little too far removed from the movie.
Yeah,
like
I
the excitement had died down.
Yep.
And while Fat Thor was a
cool
kind of
character,
a novel idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone was killing themselves to get
build
him
a figure.
overweight, especially with them doing him basically in like the Lebowski outfit.
That was pretty much a Big Lebowski.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they would have done him in the armor, like the with the Viking look from the end, that would have been a cooler figure. But what do I know?
They definitely. It's interesting that a lot of times Marvel will do these Build-A-Figures, and sometimes they're like, oh my god, everyone's out there hunting for them. You see people opening packages at Walmart, Target, stealing the stuff, and then like you have the Molten Man from the Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, God.
That just sitting on the shelves. You have this one sitting on the shelves.
Same with the Captain Marvel line.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one that I thought was going to be a really cool Build-A-Figures because the Kree Sentry, I mean, that's classic 70s Marvel.
Yeah.
But apparently nobody cared.
Now, I got pretty much 80% of him, and I have yet to pick up the rest of it just because I don't... the figures were just so blasé that I'm like, okay, if I see it on sale, I'll grab it, but I'm not going to spend anywhere like 13 or up. If it's under $13, maybe I'll pick it up.
I think it was a missed opportunity where they could have done comic accurate Skrulls and stuff in that.
Yeah.
Because the comic figures that were in there, or figure I should say, because wasn't the Genet's Vel?
Yeah.
That was the only comic figure in the wave, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was, and the gray...
the gray gargoyle, yes.
Yeah.
And those are the two that I picked up.
Yeah.
And then I got a regular Captain Marvel because Madison. So...
Yeah, and then they dropped the ball. Walmart dropped the ball because they had the special edition Captain Marvel figure
that showed up so late,
and there were like 50 of them on the shelves. It's
yes, and there still are.
They're everywhere, and it's like, and they were going for like $40 on eBay, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, why are people spending all this money?
Right, spend an extra $5 in gas and go to East Syracuse and buy one of the 20.
Exactly, so right. But yeah, Marvel Legends, unfortunately. They so much came out in the past several months that it is a slower period, which is fine with me. I'm okay with that, and that transitions me into the Star Wars Black Series figures too. Again, major slowdown. Some new stuff coming out, but again, not being released or shipped till after the new year. the coolest figure and the hardest one to get as of right now is the Purge Trooper. Now, the Purge Trooper was the figure that was released with Jedi Fallen Order, the specialty box sets. GameStop's supposedly got anywhere from 2 to 3 of the actual figures per store. I pre-ordered what I thought was them. Ended up that I pre-ordered the Jump Troopers that came out like several months ago. So I unfortunately missed out on getting my 2. Did some hunting, and I was able to pick a single one up. Opened it. Very cool figure. Some really nice soft goods on it. But this is going to be a figure that if they don't release them, it's going to be like a Revan. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to realize, oh, well, we need to release it because so many people want it. Then it's going to saturate and flood the market again.
Right, which is what happened with Revan, right? Like, he was super short packed, and then all of a sudden, Best Buy had 20 of them.
Yeah, it was all over the place. So, right now, you go to a GameStop, and you cannot order online. You know, most of the collectors have already scooped them up. Mm-hmm. And, so a very hard figure to get right now. A very cool figure, though. So keep your eyes open at your GameStops. You may luck out, and they may get a random one in, and definitely pick it up because it is a really cool figure, especially sitting next to the the Second Sister and Darth Vader and whatnot. It really looks cool,
very cool,
with the black and the red aspects of it. But that, again, Black Series. The pre-orders were up for the White Revan, for the Kit Fisto, for the Red Battle Droid. That all came out. Hasbro Pulse has those. Amazon has those. So those are all stuff that's out right now. But other than that, no major announcements other than... You want to say... You're kind of chuckling.
Because I know what's coming. The biggest craze that they failed to take advantage of when they should have.
Oh my God. The Mandalorian came out, and everyone, is talking about the little baby Yoda, and I say baby Yoda, I mean, it's not officially baby Yoda, but it is...
Right now, officially, it's called the Child.
The Child, yes. And so, the little child, which has stolen the hearts of everyone with the Mandalorian. I mean, you have Cara Dune blowing stuff up. You have the Mandalorian, chopping people's heads off with doors, hitting buttons. But then you have this little green guy taking a circular metal ball off a pole, and that steals everything, and everyone talks about it. So Funko jumped right on the bandwagon, and
I think they're going to be the first.
They are the first. Yep, they're releasing, I think, 3 versions: a 10-inch, a flocked, smaller one, and a regular one. And then also was announced that there was going to be a plush one, which you said was from
vinyl and plush.
Vinyl and
Walmart
plush.
Leaked it.
Yeah. So
it's going to be 11 inches tall. It's going to go for around $25, and it's not coming out until fucking June.
Yeah, which, I mean, I have a feeling that they're going that date is going to get pushed up.
It has to,
because the craze is right now, and they are losing so much. I mean, if they had released that and had that available for Christmas, oh my God, it would have been like the Tickle Me Elmo, kind of thing.
Well, I can tell you right now, there would be 2 in this house.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
They are just, adorable. So, that is the main figure that I can, say that is the hot button right now.
Yeah. When that comes, that is going to be the thing.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. I mean, they have it's funny. You look on Facebook, and there's already memes, and there's people are making shirts and all this stuff, and it's crazy to think that. Well, it's interesting to think also that all these people, because of this, are getting Disney Plus now too,
right?
Because they want to see what the craze is about. So Disney's raking in the money with the Disney Plus.
Yeah, the official line was that 1 million subscribers.
Oh my gosh,
a day.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I mean,
printing money.
Yeah, literally.
And mostly off of one show right now.
Yeah, right. Literally, they made a bit. They talked about that Lady and the Tramp, the redo and all that.
We haven't watched that yet.
I haven't watched it either. Mandalorian. I got to say that I've watched each episode. There's 4 episodes now. I've watched them at least 3 times.
Yep.
Just because each time it's like you notice something different, and it's just. I have a feeling that, and mark my word, in a year we're gonna be like, okay, the Mandalorian, he is the figure. Bubba who?
Right.
Bubba Fett? What? He's gonna be out of sight, out of mind, and this is gonna be the new figure.
Yeah.
The new guy, and I just actually got. Speaking of which, I just got the heavy duty Mandalorian from Best Buy.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I did get that, and very awesome figure. I put some pictures up on our site, and actually, what I'll do is I'll bring it over, and we can do a little review of it next week.
That would be awesome.
So that way,
because I had heard they actually showed up in store and were gone immediately.
I did not.
Because people have them from in hand already on eBay.
Wow, and people are just. I mean, $60+ for a $20 figure. I mean, it's so unfair because if you were lucky enough to grab one when it showed up online, and that's just it. It showed up online. I saw it. I ordered it. It took a couple days. It showed up. Actually, it showed up. What's today? Wednesday. It showed up on Saturday.
Nice.
And I actually opened it on Monday to play around with it, and it's a heavy duty figure.
Nice.
I want to say it weighs at least a pound.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, and he's top heavy too. He took a couple swan dives off of the top shelf, and
that's not good.
He took out a couple people on the way down, but
as he
it's
should,
okay.
Being a Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, he's a heavy duty guy.
That's
but yeah,
cool.
Definitely, I'll bring that over so you can take a look at it.
Definitely excited to order one.
Yeah, we'll get you one.
All right.
But yeah, I think I want to say that's all I have right now. Yeah. What about you?
For that stuff, yep, that about wraps it up. We're going to move into what we're actually going to be reading this week.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm all in on both 2099 and Annihilation Scourge.
That is definitely going to be a read. I'm going to take a look at it. I'm really excited to see where the Venom 2099 goes. Mm-hmm. How they, are they going to tie that into the Amazing Spider-Man 2099? Are they going to, because we know that in 2099 there was Venom, there was Spider-Man. They did have interaction in several instances. Is there going to be any correlation or any interaction that way? So I'm curious to see if that goes that way. But most importantly, I'm really excited for that Conan Serpent Wars and that Thor Worthy #1. So those are going to be my main pickups.
All right, and as always, I want to remind everyone: do your hunting and your collectible shopping local. Visit all the local places you can. I mean, without them, our hobbies don't exist. Definitely go see our buddies at Collectibles Galore. Mike's got probably one of the greatest shops in town.
Oh yeah.
And if nothing else, you can sit there and talk to him for like an hour.
Oh yeah, he literally. I joke around that you walk through a time warp when you get there. I mean, the time just stops, and then before you know it, 3 hours have gone by.
Right.
I was there the other day and stopped in. I was looking to complete a run, and he's like, "I think I have that." And 20 minutes goes by, and he pops out, and he's like, "Look, I do have it." I'm like, "How did you know where it was?" But he. The store, he's got so much stuff, and
not just comics. He has collectibles, figures,
everything.
He has. I saw some of the Star Wars Hot Wheels figures there.
Oh yeah,
the ships.
Yep.
Loose figures, like on the cheap. Like he's got a couple of really good older Marvel Legends that, if you're looking, they're there, and I think they're like $10.
Yeah, and he is willing to work with you too.
Yes.
And that's the main thing, is that he's the type of guy that you go in there, you have a good conversation. You walk out not only feeling good that you made a decent purchase at a local comic shop, but you had a good conversation, and that he's going to remember you, and you're going to go back, and he's going to say, how is this, how is that.
Right.
So definitely, shop local. Mike, Collectibles Galore, great shop, hands down. Stop in, tell him that Aaron and Paul sent you.
Definitely.
So guys, have a great, awesome day, and cheers, y'all.
This has been a GeekPod Network production. Show notes and links to our social media can be found on our webpage, www.geekpod.com. That's G33kpod.com. Want to help us out? Please rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Reviews really help keep us on the charts. Thanks, guys, and see you next time.